Let it start it on, let me start it on. I see a lot of people are mad at me because I did a recording yesterday in the crib. I guess these people are very entitled, controlling. They want to own you. It's crazy, man. We're gonna get right into it today, you feel me? People you see, I was talking about yesterday, I had a topic that I was talking about. The people in the neighborhood reflect. They have a huge reflection on the neighborhood. So you can tell by the people in the neighborhood what kind of neighborhood it is. I'm starting to realize that as I look into the neighborhood, I try to zoom out and try to look at mankind from the same point of view. What can we tell about mankind? What can we tell about mankind? What has mankind does that we can tell? And I started looking at technology, you feel me? And I realized that the technologies that we have at hand and the technologies that we have created speaks to the insecurity of a man. Feel me? That's where I want to go today with it. You feel me? Because this thought came to me once upon a time when I'm walking by. And they were using the cameras to watch me and everything else, which is technology itself. It's like I realized in that moment that they're using the cameras to watch you and the device to listen to you and everything else like that. And I'm like, damn, these people are in a constant state of paranoia. You feel me? I was like, then I started thinking, was these technology used for such thing? Then I'm like, of course it was. It'd be a device that listens. What else is it gonna listen to? You feel me? A device that watches people and they every move, it zooms in, has clarification, it's being evolved, and it's getting better and better. So I'm like, this gotta be a state of paranoia. And that was in my own life story and everything else like that, because you know, they don't want me talking to any bitch and everything else like that. So they zooming in, listening to the conversations and everything else like that. So I started looking it out from a world point of view. Then I realized, oh shit, there's a satellite in the sky. You feel me? The satellite is a big ass camera. It zooms in to a specific location and takes a mapping of that area itself. A constant state of paranoia. What are these people who are creating this technology paranoid about? What is it? Because a person's behavior reflects how they feel on the inside. So if you see somebody making a lot of noise and try to be intimidating or in a bully state of being, that means that person is really paranoid inside. So the way you treat others is a reflection of how you really feel inside. So the technologies that you create tells a lot about how you really feel inside. So I'm like, why are we constantly, what are we fighting ourselves, or are we finding a civilization that we don't even know about? Why do we have all these, I'm thinking at this from a war point of view now. Why do we have all these rocket missiles? Why do we have atomic bombs? Why are we creating technology of destruction in a constant state of paranoia? Why is the human race in a constant state of paranoia? What are we scared of? Are we scared of ourselves and the things that we can do to other people? Or do we really have a threat? Is it really all in our mind? And why do they use device to listen to other people? What is it about that person that you have to listen to? Why do people listen to me and they disagree with me, but yet they listen to me through these devices and watch me through the cameras and everything else? Why are they in a constant state of paranoia? You feel me? The technology reflects the technology that you use, the way you use the technology. You feel me? Because I knew cameras was not created for us to be on no fucking YouTube or no Instagram or everything else. These technologies were created to spy on people. You feel me? We're gonna get into the conversation, you feel me? Because this is inspired by what's going on in Israel and Palestine and the so-called back and forth with rocket missiles and everything else like that. It's embarrassing what's going on over there. But I'm starting to look at the technology that's being used. I'm starting looking at civilians. I'm starting looking at human resources that they're using and everything else like that. Why are we operating in a constant state of paranoia? Why are people in fear? What is it? You feel me? Now this thought came to mind, like I said, when, I've been going through this for a long time, years now, and I'm like, yo, I started wondering, how can people know certain things? Like, they be knowing where you going, who you talking to, intercepting your calls and everything. And then I realized they're using the technology. I'm like, oh, so in my mind, I'm using the technology for something else, for my own benefit. In their mind, they're using the technology to combat their fears. In constant state of paranoia, always watching you. He's going to do something. Although nothing has been done yet. Even up to this day, I still haven't done nothing yet. But they're still watching you on the camera, zooming in and zooming out. Audios, recordings. They're using it they're using the technology in a constant state of paranoia. Then I realized that the reason why I came from an era where cameras wasn't on every block. You feel me? The only people that had cameras was like people that had something worth to have a camera. But now every corner has a camera. Every corner has a camera. And the reason why they put cameras on every corner, the reason why I remember them saying it, because they said that because they were trying to, the camera slows crimes down. So camera on every corner slows crimes down, and it gets to catch criminals faster. So the next thing we know, there was a camera on every corner. You can't even have a building without a camera on the building itself. It's like it's part of the building. It's not a component to the building. The buildings used to have signs and numbers on the building, which is mandatory. But now, the camera is part of the sign of the building itself. It's like it's hanging on the side of the building. And the camera is getting better and better as we age. As we go along, it's getting better and better. It used to be the cameras where it used to stick out. Now this, hold on, let it pass. Now this shit is so small that you can't even tell it's a camera. You feel me? Why are we in a constant state of paranoia? Why are we in a constant state of fear? And our fear, we are actually developing technology more and more. And our technology, through the fear of us, is growing. So the things that we're creating to help us combat our fear is actually advancing our fears. Because it's like, it's never enough. Well, let's enhance it. Let's enhance it. So in order to enhance it, we have to find a cause to enhance that fear. Because it's like, why would you need that technology? Why would you need a missile? Why would you need a drone? You feel me? First, it went from a regular missile, RPGs was on a plane. Now you have planes that fly by themselves. Well, somebody somewhere can be in another continent, flying a drone in another continent. You feel me? Type shit like that. That shit is scary. These technology are made out of fears. You feel me? They're made out of the human fear. It's a paranoia. Satellites in the sky, zooming in and watching people walk by. It can zoom into the finest. They could probably watch me right now, walking. You feel me? These technology represents fear, the fear of a man. There's something that they fear about somebody or individuals or groups or people that they felt the need to create these technology. Why is that? What is it? Why? Why are we in a constant state of fear? How come our technology represents that? Because when I look at it, I don't see our technology as human intelligence. No. Some people may see it as that. It's delusional. If you think that technology represents human intelligence, it does not. Let that car pass. I don't see it as representing human intelligence at all. I see it as the opposite of human ignorance. Fear. A whole lot of fear. A whole lot of fucking paranoid. They just paranoid. The amount of technology that they're doing. Drones flying over your head and everything. Sometimes it's come to the point where you can't even hear it no more. They made it in a silent way, very sneaky way, conniving, deceitful way. These technologies are more deceitful than you can think of. It's representing the inventor himself. You can't create nothing without you leaving yourself in it, like I was speaking about yesterday. So I'm looking at these technology, I see the fear of the individual who created this in the first place. Even though I'm gonna use this camera for my own good because it reflects my usage of the technology that I'm using. I cannot use it without having some kind of encounter or intimacy with the technology that I'm using. Now, if a person have a device in his hand and all they do is watch porn with that device, it reflects the personhood. It represents the character of that individual, because they're not using it for nothing useful but just porn. But the same person can have the same device and use it for something, to learn how to do something new that they haven't learned online. And it's like it's like the same device. It's according to the person that's using it. Granted, but when you take a look at the reason why it was created in the first place, you get to see I'm like, yo, why would you, like, what is the point? That's why they were so mad. That's why they have to put a censor on the internet and everything else, because they didn't think people would use it for what they thought it would be used to spy on other people. But people are actually using it for intelligent purpose. There's people trading online. People want to make it easier for people to get things accomplished online. You feel me? So they're using the technology in a good way, but that was not what the intention was when they created these technologies in the first place. You feel me? So why is it that we are in a constant state? Why were planes created for? Was it for passenger planes, or was it for the purpose of war itself? You feel me? Let's take a look at the history of these things. Most of these so-called advanced technology were created because out of fear of something else, in a paranoia. They might put even most of the things that we do, almost everything we do, archaeology. How can you dig up in somebody's grave and tell me that that is disrespectful. You can't dig these ancient Egyptian graves and tell us that you're looking for mummies. Nigga, how? We don't go into these great presidents' tombs or burial site and dig up their shit. You feel me? We wouldn't see it as such, but yeah, we do it to this ancient Egyptians and the Nubians and everything else. Talking about what are we looking for? Treasury? Is it archaeology so people can come by and watch them? Come on, man. It's a lot of shit going on. Like, it's full of it's a lot of shit. It's bullshit going on. Feel me? I realize that, man. Look, man. Through my own trials and tribulations, feel me? And what the people were using the technology for, it made me think out into the world itself. And I'm like, why do we have so many missiles, different kind of missiles? Why do we have tanks? Why do we have warships? Why do we have all these things? Like, why? Why do we have it? You feel me? It started making me think about Asian Africa itself. And I'm like, it has to be the fear of somebody. Because it's not like the Africans couldn't create these things. They was more than capable of creating these things and everything else like that. There was more than that. Like, they built the pyramid, for God's sakes. There's a lot of intelligence behind it. These people mine gold, melt gold, then what do you call it? Then mold the gold into a face precisely. It was designed. You feel me? These people was building tunnels in places where light cannot even travel to, but yet the paintings on those walls were so well defined. People are telling me that it's impossible for them not to have created light. Of course they created light, or they had some kind of chemical in order for you to even have fire, there has to be oxygen around for fire to be existing. You feel me? In order for you to have light, oxygen has to be around, which meaning we living in a world where, look, oxygen is a form of light. In order for you to have a light in any form or shape, let it pass. See, oxygen is a form of light. You feel me? So that means light feeds light. You feel me? Thirst feeds thirst. Food feeds hunger. There's something that always feeds each other. The opposite, it's not the opposite. It actually, you attract what you are, basically. That's what it is. You feel me? When they say opposite attract, not true. You attract, although there's truth to that, but your opposite is who you are. So you attract who you are. So you cannot light up a candle without oxygen being around in the room itself. So for them to be all the way down there, they had to have created technology where there was some kind of light or bulb and everything else like that. Why didn't they create something like a gun or gunpowder and everything else like that? Why didn't they create all these technologies that's detrimental to civilization that we've come to realize now that even the Biden administration is trying to take away guns and everything else like that? Why weren't these things created in the ancient Egyptian? Their technology reflected their intelligence. You feel me? Your technology is supposed to reflect the intelligence of you. So if we are creating nothing but destructive behavior, then that reflects the intelligence of us. Now, I don't want you to take this shit personal. I need you to think about it first and see what is going on. That most of the things that we've created so far have been in a constant state of paranoia. You feel me? Most of the technology they create, they only add features to it to make it seem as if this is what it's made for, but it's really not. A phone is a recording device. It's a two-way recording. It's still the two-way pager. It's just been advanced. I'll let it pass. You feel me? That's all it is. Our computer is just a GPS. It can be tracked. They can track the GPS down. They can track it with device and everything else like that. Even the Apple and everything. These are all, they're just advanced version of a two-way and a GPS device. They can track that shit to you. You feel me? Your IPO and whatever, the IEN. All these things are just tracking devices that they can be tracked back to you. Why do we have technologies where we constantly spying on each other? Why are we constantly in a state of paranoia? Why do we constantly have to follow people around and always worry about what the next person is doing? What is it about you that you feel the need to want to follow somebody around, to want to look into somebody's life? What is it that you are doing? What is it that you are capable of doing that you fear that somebody else is capable of doing the same thing that you're doing? Why are you paranoid? You feel me? People make a lot of mistakes in life. We do. But then you put your own mistakes on other people as if they made the mistake. And when you have to be like, yo, this is what I did. You feel me? Just like the slave trade itself, where the slave master was constantly living in fear. Even after slavery, thinking that the slaves was going to come after him because of the things that he did. He thought that the slaves was him. He was the one who did all the wrong, but yet was in constant fear of what the slaves might do to him. So he lashes out at the things, he lashes out at people who he thought will seek revenge because of the things that he did. You gotta be careful of people who basically do wrong all the time and are in constant paranoia state of somebody getting them back for the wrongs that they've done. So their whole life they live as if somebody's gonna get me for the things that I've done. Hold on, let it pass. It's all good. We're not even talking about, anyway. Low ass box. That's not even a car, that's a box. That shit is a small box, nigga. Fuck out of here, B. Fuck out of here, B. You feel me? I got a few more minutes with y'all. Like 10 minutes. So the things that we create, the things that we do, is a reflection of what is going on in the inside of us. It's screaming out loud. I can't create nothing if it wasn't in me to create that. Like, it's a reflection of who I am. You feel me? So why do we do these things? You feel me? That nigga fucked up my train of thought. I was on a roll with that one. You dig? Like, why are these things created? Talk to me nicely. You feel me? Why do we create these things? These things are created in a constant state of worried. You feel me? These technologies are not created in good faith. They're not. If they was created in good faith, then it wouldn't need to be that disruptive. I wouldn't have to create a technology where I know I cannot use it. If I use that technology, it's going to destroy me, myself, and everybody else. You feel me? That's destructive behavior. That's craziness. You feel me? And the way you use that technology too, even if it's not a disruptive technology, is a reflection on how you think as an individual. You feel me? The things that I'm seeing is like it's in a constant state of paranoia. Everything they do is in a constant state of paranoia. Everything. I'm talking about the people that come after me and just the world as a view. It's not just one nation that's doing all this. This is a nationwide view. This is something that we gotta change. You feel me? This is just something that we gotta change. We gotta change our behavior. We gotta change the way we see the world. We just gotta change a lot of things about ourselves. We gotta change these things, you feel me? Because we creating behaviors that we can't even account for. The only way we can find out about these behaviors, it'll be later on down the line when it's too late. You feel me? It'll be too late for us to encounter such things like that, because in order for us to fix the problem has to present, it has to face us for us to see it. By then it'll be too late. That we have to do, like, we have to see the destruction happen first. It has to be a restart before we even do something about it. You feel me? It's like we know the reason why a lot of guns was created. But then again, why are you constantly creating guns for? When you constantly creating guns and you constantly doing this thing, that means that you have to look for a way to distribute these weapons. You feel me? That's why we have these army people. They go in neighborhoods and they're selling guns to the neighborhoods and everything else like that, because they are in the constant manufacturing of guns and everything else like that. I believe you have the right to bear arms and everything else like that. Don't ever get it twisted. But do you really need an assault rifle? Do you really need an AR-15? Do you need an RPG? Like, do you need grenades? Like, well, who are you preparing for? Trust me, I believe cold-heartedly that we need to bear arms. We need to, because there's a lot of people out there who are sick, and they breaking all kind of rules and crossing all kind of boundaries with their sickness. And I think every man and woman, especially women, should know how to defend themselves. You should bear arms and everything else like that. But it's like, how far does a person who's afraid goes? Like, these people are in a constant state of fear, and they keep going and going. Like, the fear keep mounting. You feel me? There's people who got like 20 guns in their crib. I'm like, damn, nigga, you only got 2 hands, bro. Like, I understand. That is fear. That's a person that's living in fear. People have guns on top of guns on top of guns, and it's like a collection now. It is not even something. It becomes arrogant collection. It's like arrogance, and they arrogance and they fear. It's like, man, I got guns on top of guns and gun. I'm like, damn, nigga, you can't, like, unless you can get to it, it defeats the purpose, like, to have that much. Rifles, like, on top of rifles, it's like, that's fear. That is fear in itself. You feel me? Why are these people fearful? I know some people may think, oh, that's gangster. People see things the way they want to see it. But to me, if a person who has that much weapons, I'm looking at it from a country's point of view too. If a country has that much military, you feel me? You have that many bombs, that many service members. You're constantly building up your army and everything. You're spending too much money on army and everything. I know you have to defend your country and everything else like that. But it's like, you have to find the most efficient way to do it and just leave it as such. But if you constantly developing your arm, you develop, that means that you creating problems somewhere else where you paranoid that somebody is going to come and get you. Because the only way people worry about people getting them is because they've done something wrong and they feel guilty of somebody getting them. You attract who you are. So if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You feel me? As the saying go. You dig? So if you're a person who's constantly doing people wrong, guess what? You are going to meet your karma in that sense. So that's why they live the way they live. By constantly build, they always got, like, you feel me? They always got to pile up and pile up and pile up. And it's like, it's crazy. They're piling up to the point where there's no more room to pile up. Now they're borrowing other people's space to pile up these things. That's madness. You feel me? It's a reflection of the mind itself. What is going on? Why do people live in so much fear? You feel me? I realized this thing. I'm like, yo, why these niggas be watching me? I mean, I came to that thought. Then I seen it. Then I'm like, oh, we got satellites all around the earth. These niggas is going to the moon. They going to Mars and everything else like that. I'm like, Earth is not good enough. That's the only one home we have. You feel me? Although I love to travel space, but they're not doing it for the right intentions. You feel me? If you ain't do the right things on Earth, I don't expect you to do the same thing on somewhere else. I just don't expect it. So I'm trying to question the intentions of what they're doing it for. Like I said, I can use the same technology and I can use it for something good. But some people use that same technology and they'll use it for something unproductive, or use it for some wickedness, or use it to spy on people. They'll use the same camera to watch you on the other side. You feel me? They'll use the cameras on same buildings to zoom in on you. Why are you paranoid? Why are you in fear of that individual walking by? What is it? What is it? Why do you have to see you? They act like old ladies sitting on the porch, knows everybody business, watching everybody going back and forth. What is it? What are you afraid for? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid for? What are you afraid of, basically? That is fear in itself. When people constantly spying, being nosy, narcissistical views and everything else like that, the way they carry themselves is narcissistical. That's fear. When they feel like they gotta bully you and everything else like that, that's fear. That's paranoid. What is it that you're afraid of? That's a question that you need to ask. I shouldn't even have to ask that for you. You should have been asking that. Like, what am I afraid of? Why do I act the way I act? Why do you feel the need to want to watch me? Why do you want to control Jeff? You feel me? Why do you want to make me look bad? What is it about me that you are fearful of? I got like 1 minute with y'all. I got like 1 minute, probably 30 seconds. What is it about me that you're fearful of? You feel me? What is it? That's the question that we need to be asking. Like, why are these people fearful? What is it, man? Talk to me. We all know what it is, you feel me? I just want to point it out. Like, the technology that people use, or the technology that they create, or the things that they do, is a reflection of what's going on in their mind. Look no further by the person's behavior. You can get to tell what kind of mental, whatever the fuck it is, what kind of mental health they have in their mind by the behavior that they conduct themselves in, as a group, community, country, or whatever it is that you want to see. An individual, by that person's behavior, it tells you what is going on in their mind. A person's behavior tells you that that's how they think in their mind. In order for you to do something, you have to have thought about it. So that's how their mind operate. So you see the operation of the mind by the behavior and the works that they put in. It's not healthy by what I'm looking at. You feel me? I know you probably doing it for fun. They think it's for fun. Like, no, it's just, he's too serious. We're just doing it for fun. No. This is a behavior. Something that has been consistently been done over and over and over for you to establish it as a behavior. You feel me? Take a look at it. Separative and everything else, trying to isolate. Me against them kind of attitude. Feel me? Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at him, ew. Look at me, look at ew. Look, feel me? That kind of attitude. The attitude also represents that person. Yeah, technology is telling us about your attitude towards mankind itself and towards other people. So what's up? Talk to me. Feel me? I know I said this place into the Israel-Palestine because I don't like what is going on. All these bombs that's being dropped. You can see it from both sides, but I feel like Israel is a much bigger country when it comes to weapon-wise than Palestine, and I don't think it's fair that you going after a particular group of people. I might have to follow this on the next one if this shit don't go off. I feel like it's about to go off soon. And I feel like, yo, just dropping bombs on a group called Hamas, on individual. We don't even know who Hamas is. They're hiding within the people itself, and they're hiding among civilians and innocent people. So it's like dropping a whole bomb on people who ain't got nothing to do with it. It's not fair to the community. I don't even think that makes sense at all. Like, you feel me? I don't think that we understand there's a Hamas and everything. We don't even know whether the Hamas is made up of another country that is influencing You feel me? We don't even know if Iran is behind Hamas or if it's really Israel playing games, or certain groups in Israel playing games that's like behind Hamas. Hamas is like the Illuminati. We don't even know whether they exist or not. We don't even know whether they've been killed off and they're just playing a game. Seems like when the Democrats came in office, this shit just started again. Like, what's going on? We don't know. There's a lot of covert operation that goes on around the world that we have no idea about. You feel me? These are games and fears that reflects the people that live there. It's a state of paranoia with these people, you feel me? What is going on in that region that is always constantly bombs being dropped on innocent people? Drones, bombs,